Hello, everyone. I am Deanne Castro, Creative Memories Advisor in Bakersfield, California, and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Today, I'm going to show you a border that I've showed a little bit of the last few weeks because I've just been so excited about it. I kind of wanted to do a little bit of a preview. And so today, I'm actually going to show you how to make it. Okay, so let's go ahead and switch over to the desktop. And this is the border. I love this border. I think it is so, so pretty. It was made with the Dancing Stars Border Maker cartridge. And if you see, this one is blue. It's got a blue top on it, which means it came out of the secret box #1 this year. They have been sold out, but the secret box #1 is going to be coming back, I think, next week when Creative Memories releases the secret box #2. So you will be able to get your hands on one of these if you don't have one already. Creative Memories this year is going to be doing 5 secret boxes. And if you buy box 1 through 4, you'll have an opportunity to purchase the box #5. If you miss one, you won't be able to get #5. But every single one of them are going to have a Border Maker cartridge in them. And they'll be identified as a secret box one with this blue, really pretty blue top. Okay. Also in that box are these paper packs. These are the Celestial Delights, and they have the prettiest paper in these packs. They're bright, they're pretty, they're starry. So like if you saw the any eclipse recently, or solar eclipse, or lunar eclipses, or any other interesting things in the skies, this paper is perfect. But it also has just some generic colors. There's some really bright, pretty generic colors. The other paper pack it's the accent paper pack, and it has 6 sheets of double-sided paper, and one side of each of them is treated with foil. So it's hard to see in the picture, but I have a few of them that I'll be showing you tonight. So I'm hoping to be able to show the foil part of it on these. Also comes with a card with a QR code in it to take you to several different idea pages. And it has, oh, sorry, I dropped it on the floor. It has this template in it. So lots of really fun solar star type things on this template that you can use. And honestly, I don't remember what else came in the box, but I love this. So I'm going to show you how to make it. I'm going to put the Border Maker cartridge in the holder and move this one out of the way. So I'm going to be using a little bit different paper, but it's still going to be basically the same thing. So I'll set this one up here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use this paper, and I'm going to punch it with the Border Maker cartridge. So I pulled the tray out from underneath, lift the bar here, and slide the paper underneath. And I'm lining it up all the way to the end of this tray. And now I'm going to put this back underneath. Okay? I'm going to put the paper down in through here. And then this knob, this little knob right here, will line up with the other knobs on the rest of this trimmer. So this is the Border Maker cartridge set. And all of these, there's lots of other cartridges available too for various things. So I'm going to put the paper in, line it up, pull this out, and then just slowly go down and punch at each little interval here. Okay. Now, this paper is really dark, and you're not really going to be able to see the pattern on it very well until I put a different color paper underneath it. But I want to kind of center this on the border here when I cut it. This is not a chain border maker cartridge, meaning it stays on the paper. It doesn't come off after I punched it. So I'm going to take my trimmer and I'm going to cut this at 1 1/8 of an inch. And that's going to put the pattern basically right in the middle of this piece that I'm cutting out. Okay, so there's the piece. And there's the pieces that I cut out of it. Now, I know it's really dark, but I'm going to take this sandy shimmer paper. And when I put it on, there, see how the pattern comes out? Isn't that pretty? So I'm going to cut this sandy shimmer, and you can use like a white shimmer. You could use the Vista shimmer, whatever, or gold shimmer, whatever color is in the paper that you're using. But you want it to be able to show through to make that pattern stand out. So that's why I'm using a really light color right here. And I'm going to cut this at 1 3/8 of an inch. Okay, so this one's going to be 1 3/8. So I'm now going to put this on that piece. Just going to use some repositionable tape here. And then I'm going to turn it over and center it on this piece. I'm just kind of eyeballing it here. So see how that pattern just shows through with that light paper underneath it? Isn't that pretty? I just love it. Okay, the next piece that I'm going to cut is going to be this piece. And I'm going to show you how to get these diagonal cuts on here, okay? So I'm going to trim a piece and I'm going to cut it at 1 7/8 inches. See how this shimmers? This is the gold, one of the gold foil papers. Isn't that gorgeous? It's so pretty. Okay, so I'm going to cut this one at 1 7/8 inches. Now you can cut it at 2 inches if you want, if that just makes it easier for you. But I liked it being just a little bit smaller than the original. The original I did cut at the 2 inches. But this one I'm just cutting it just a tiny bit smaller at 1 7/8. Now, to get the diagonal cut, I'm turning this and I'm lining it up with the 45-degree line on the trimmer. Then I'm going to put the top corner, this top corner right here, on the cut line so I can get this started cutting these pieces. And it's okay if it's a little bit over the cut line because you want that tip. If you pull this down, you can see where it's exactly going to cut. And you want to make sure you have that tip on there. Okay, so we won't use this piece on this. Now I'm going to move this piece up. I'm going to keep it on the 45-degree line. And I'm going to trim it on the 1 inch mark right here. So I'm going to line this piece up along the 1 inch line and then keep this on the 45-degree angle. And I'm going to cut, I think, 6 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm going to cut 6 pieces. So I cut one and I'm moving it up another inch, making sure everything's straight. There's number 2. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, I move this one out of the way. Then the next piece I'm going to cut is going to be this piece underneath right here. Okay. And that one is going to be 2 1/4 inches. So I'm using this blue piece right here. This had this really pretty celestial star and moon type things on here. But I'm going to use the blue side because what I want to do is I want to pull this blue color out from here. And then also, these have little tiny dots of blue in them. It's kind of hard to see, but they're kind of a very light blue. So, and I want this blue piece to show. So this is going to be 2 1/4 inches. Okay, move this out of the way. And I'm going to put these on here. I'm just going to line them up first. And I'm going to start with the bottom corner of this, kind of right on the edge. And then I'm going to just eyeball this and kind of center it right here. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to move it across. I think they're about a 1/2 inch apart. But what I want to do is kind of lay these on here and see where it's going to end up, where this top corner on this one is on the edge over here. So now I'm going to kind of space them out to where that's approximately the same distance apart. Doesn't have to be perfect. And if you want, you can measure them, but I'm just eyeballing them. And then this last piece we'll use just on the edges. I didn't do it on this, but I think it adds just a little bit. So, okay, I'm going to put adhesive on this one. And I'm going to line this corner up on the edge. And then I'm going to kind of just eyeball this to the center. Pull it up a little bit. Actually, I'm not sure I like how wide this is, but I might want to take a 1/4 inch off of it later, but we'll see. Okay, so now I'm making this straight and this straight. Okay, I'm going to take the next piece, center it between the two pieces here, just eyeball it, making sure it's straight across the top and the bottom, and then continue doing that with the rest of the pieces. That may not be quite centered. I may need to remove that one. That's why I'm using the repositionable tape. Now I'm going to make sure that the corner up here is right on the edge. Yeah, and that distance isn't quite right. So I'm going to lift this one up and center it a little better. Okay, now it's down too far. Nice thing about the repositionable tape is you can just lift things up and move them around. Okay, now I'm going to add little pieces here on the end, right here. So I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive on this corner. And then I'm just going to eyeball the distance. Just kind of put this right here. Okay, and then I'm going to trim that off. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So it's going to go about right there. And I did this on some of them, and then I didn't do it on some others. But I'm thinking it kind of gives it a little better continuity from end to end. Okay, now we're going to put this piece on there. And the thing you want to do is make sure there's plenty of contrast between all the colors that you're using. So like this one was really dark on the top, so I used a really light piece underneath so it would stand out. Then you could go back to some dark pieces, but then I put them on this lighter blue so that it would stand out. Let's see, use this one. Regular tape. I really try to use the regular adhesive as much as possible because, as you can probably imagine, using the repositionable a lot, you end up using a lot more of it than you do the other. So I'm just eyeballing this, centering it on here. Oh, isn't that pretty? Okay, so now I have one more layer, and I'm going to take this shimmer foiled cloud piece, and I want to put a little bit of different dimension on it on the edges. So I'm going to take my straight blade out, and I'm going to use the Victorian blade. There's lots of different blades that you can get for these. Now I'm just going to line this up and just cut like 1/8 of an inch off the edge just to get the pattern on here. So just so I got the pattern right there. Now this piece is going to be 2.5 inches. Okay, so I'm going to line this up on the 2.5 inch line and cut the other side. So that just gives it a little different dimension on the edges. You can trim all of them if you want with this, or just the one, which I did. And then I'm going to adhere this one to the base. And there again, I'm just going to eyeball it. And we're done. Isn't that pretty? I just love this shiny sparkle paper. You could even use this for like a graduation or something like that, some type of a celebration, birthday type of thing. Isn't that pretty? I just love that. So that's the Celestial Delights paper pack out of the first secret box from this year. Now, I want to show you a couple of other ones. This one I used from the Birthday Jubilee. And this is the Stacked Presents border maker cartridge. So this one, the presents kind of go up and down. So this would go along your page vertically. But because this particular punch is smaller than the celestial one that we used, you had to readjust the sizes on this. So this was a lot smaller. So I used a 1 1/8, blue stripe down under here. And then I used a 1 5/8 width here. And then this was 3/4 of an inch cut instead of the 1 inch that we used. This piece underneath the orange polka dots is 1 7/8. And then the outside one is 2 1/8. So it's like 3/8 smaller than this one that we did. Okay, see how it's just a little bit different. But because this punch was smaller, I had to readjust the different sizes. Okay, then I also used it on the noteworthy days. So this one with the cyclic circle being fairly close to the celestial one that I used, I didn't have to adjust this as much. But so this piece with the cyclic circles border maker cartridge, that's this one right here. Okay, this is cut at 1 1/4 inch. And then the piece underneath it, the beige piece underneath it, is 1 1/2 inches. Okay. And then these pieces are 1 7/8 inch wide. Okay. 1 7/8 inch wide. And then these were cut at the 1 inch. Same as this. So these were cut at the 1 inch, and these are cut moving it up to the 1 inch. The piece underneath it is 2 1/4. The bottom piece is 2 1/2. So it's pretty much the same size as this one, but the border is just a hair bigger than this one was. So as you choose your different collections and your different border maker cartridges, you need to adjust it a little bit as you go. But so that's then the different sizes on these. Okay, so let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you think about it, I have a private Facebook group and you can request to join. This is where I hope I can get people to start sharing their ideas from the borders or the pages that I've made using maybe a different collection or a different border punch or those types of things. I also try to post the new ideas, the new products that are coming out each week or every other week whenever they're coming out. And sometimes I peruse the virtual crop weekends and then post pages that I really like from those, from the sketches. So it's a work in progress, and I do work full time. So sometimes I run low on time to get some of these things posted, but I'm working on it. Okay. So just wanted to show you how to do this border, and it'd be fun to have you guys share your renditions of what I've got. So if you have any questions, you can email me. Here's my email address. And uh, have a great week. And I will talk to you guys with a new idea next Monday. Okay. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all of you watching and those of you that comment. And I have so much fun doing these for you. All right. So I'll talk to you next week. See you later. Bye.